Welcome back, everyone, to the Deep Dive. Today, we're buckling up, you could say. We're taking a look into the high-octane world of virtual racing. Specifically, we're charting a course through the Australian XGN Assetto Corsa Racing League.
That's right. And for this, our sources aren't just, the final timesheet. We've got the really granular stuff. Comprehensive race results from a specific event, detailed notes on the league rules, the current season standings. It's quite a bit of data.
It really is. So our mission today is to kind of unpack the key insights from all that info. We'll explore driver performance and really try to understand what these numbers tell us about strategy, about competition in, well, virtual motorsports.
Exactly. It's more than just who crossed the line first. There's a story in the data.
Okay, let's get into it then. Let's set the scene first. S577R3, that's season 57, race 3. This is a Taupo race 1, held on Tuesday, July 15, 2025. The car everyone was driving was the Tatuus F3 T318. And the conditions, pretty mild actually. Ambient temp, 20 degrees Celsius, track at 28, wind speed 2, direction 161. So not too extreme.
Pretty standard conditions, yeah. And right from the get-go, one name just dominated, Chris Ruffalo. Started on pole position, finished first. But the thing is, he led every single lap. All 11 of them.
Every single lap. Wow. That's complete control, isn't it?
Absolutely. An unchallenged run from lights out to the checkered flag.
And fast too, I assume.
Oh, yeah. His best lap time was a blistering 1.19.581. He nailed that on lap 9. And maybe just as impressive, 0 contacts. A perfectly clean race.
Okay, so for someone maybe not super familiar with this level of sim racing, leading every lap, 0 contacts.
Yeah.
What does that actually take? Mentally, skill-wise?
It takes incredible focus and precision. Maintaining that peak performance for 11 laps under pressure without a single mistake, especially in these cars, one tiny error, slight wheel lockup, running wide, it can cost you everything.
Right, so it's not just about being fast, it's about being relentlessly consistent and clean.
Exactly. That's what sets apart drivers like Ruffalo in races like this. It meant the real action, the close battling, was happening further back.
Okay, so if Ruffalo was kind of in his own race, what was the story behind him? Where was the fight?
Well, that's where it got really interesting. The battle for second and third was super intense. Cooper finished second. He actually moved up 1 spot during the race. His best lap was a respectable 1.20.470 on lap 3. He did have 1 contact, though.
Okay, so not perfectly clean like Ruffalo, but still a good result. How far behind Ruffalo was he?
He finished 11.929 seconds back, so a significant gap showing Ruffalo's dominance.
But you said the battle was intense.
It was, because right on Cooper's tail was Wally. He finished 3rd, moving up 2 positions himself. Wally's best lap was a 1.2.591, also on lap 9. And like Ruffalo, 0 contacts, very clean drive.
And a gap between Cooper and Wally at the finish.
Get this, only 0.34 seconds.
Wow. 0.3, that's incredibly close after 11 laps.
It really is. Practically side by side across the line. You can just picture the pressure in those final corners.
Definitely. And you mentioned Wally drove clean, 0 contacts.
Yes, and his consistency was also really notable. We have data showing 68% of his laps were within 0.18 seconds of his average lap time.
Okay, let's unpack that consistency thing a bit. For listeners, what does that cons value, or being within 0.18 seconds, actually mean in practical terms? Why is it important?
Right, so think of it like hitting the same spot on a dartboard again and again. In racing, a low cons value, or having most laps very close to your average, means you're incredibly precise. You're hitting your braking points, your apexes, your acceleration points almost identically lap after lap. It minimizes mistakes, maintains momentum, and it's often key to both speed and racecraft, especially when you're battling closely. A smaller number is better.
Got it. So Wally wasn't just close, he was driving with incredible precision while doing it.
Exactly. And the data actually highlights this duel perfectly. We have these hunter and hunted statistics.
Okay, explain those.
Well, Wally was tagged as the hunter. He spent the most time in the race closely following the car ahead, which was Cooper. The average gap between Wally and the car in front was just 1.62 seconds over the race.
And Cooper?
Cooper was the hunted. He spent the most time being closely chased by the car behind, which was Wally, and its average gap to the car behind, also 1.62 seconds.
That's fascinating. The data literally shows them locked in this chase, mirror image stats for hunter and hunted. It quantifies that pressure they were putting on each other.
Precisely. It wasn't just a close finish. It was a race-long duel defined by that close proximity.
Incredible stuff. Now, while they were battling for second and third, what about Brett Hoffe? He finished 4th, right?
Yes, Brett Hoffe finished 4th. Interestingly, he actually moved down 2 positions from where he started.
So not ideal position-wise.
No, but here's the kicker. His best lap time. An absolutely scorching 1.19.596 set on lap 10.
Wait, 1.19.596? That's almost identical to Refalo's best lap.
It is. Just 15 thousandths of a second slower. Phenomenal raw speed. Also, zero contacts for him, too.
So he has the outright pace to match the winner, but finishes 4th, losing positions. What does that suggest?
Well, it raises questions, doesn't it? Maybe inconsistency elsewhere in the race. A bad start. Trouble in traffic. It highlights that one-lap pace isn't the whole story. You need to string it all together.
Definitely a case of what could have been for him in this race, perhaps. Okay, so beyond these top 4 battles, anything else stand out in the results lower down?
Yeah, a few things. Joe finished 6th, had 1 contact, best lap of 1.2 the year .648, solid enough. Then you look at someone like Khalid, finished 10th, a lap down, but he had the most contacts in the race, with 2. Suggests maybe a scrappier race for him.
And Rob 2020 sounds like he had a really tough one.
He really did. Finished 12th, which was last of the drivers listed in these results, and he was 2 laps down.
2 laps down. Ouch. But didn't he have a decent lap time somewhere?
He did. That's what's interesting. His best lap was a 1.2 Kishel .049 set way back on lap 3. That's actually quite competitive, faster than Cooper's and Wally's best laps.
So the speed was there early on, but something went significantly wrong, dropping 8 positions. Yeah, that's rough.
It really shows how things can unravel. And he wasn't the only one struggling to keep pace. Cernaps a lot, Cullahide, as we mentioned, and Old Jock, they all finished 1 lap down. Rob 2020 was 2 laps down.
So a fair chunk of the field lost significant time to the leaders. Suggests maybe incidents or just the sheer pace at the front was hard to maintain.
Could be a mix of both. It definitely shows it was a demanding race.
Okay, so that's the race itself.
Yeah.
But these results, they feed into the bigger picture, right? The season standings.
Yeah.
And this league, XGN, has a pretty unique system for performance penalties, doesn't it?
It does, and it's crucial to understanding the championship dynamics. They use an engine restrictor system. Basically, the top 4 drivers in the overall season standings get a performance handicap for the next race.
How does that work? Is it the same for all 4?
No, it scales. The driver in first place overall gets the biggest engine restrictor, meaning less power. Second place gets a slightly smaller one, third smaller still, and fourth gets the smallest restrictor.
And anyone outside the top 4?
They race with full power, no restrictions.
Right, so it's a balancing mechanism. It tries to keep the competition tight by pegging back the leaders of it.
Exactly. It adds a whole layer of strategy. Do you push for maximum points now, knowing you'll be slower next time? Or do you aim for consistent top 5s maybe, trying to avoid the heaviest restrictions?
It makes the championship a long game. So let's look at those standings after this Taupo race, because there were some major shifts.
Absolutely. So leading the way, unsurprisingly after that win, is Chris Ruffalo. He moved up 1 spot to first, now has 76 points.
And as the leader, he gets the biggest restrictor penalty for the next race.
Correct. Then in second place is Joe. He actually dropped 1 position, now on 61 points. He's still in the top 4, so he gets the second tier restrictor.
Okay, and third and fourth. This is where that close battle between Wally and Cooper becomes even more significant, right?
It really does. Wally, with his third place finish, moved up 1 spot into third overall. He's got 44 points.
So he now enters that top 4 bracket and will face the third level restrictor.
Yep. And Cooper, who fought so hard to hold on to second in the race, he made a big jump in the standings, up 3 positions to fourth overall with 43 points.
Just 1 point behind Wally.
Right.
And he also gets a restrictor, the smallest one for being fourth.
That's right. So think about it. The top 4 drivers who dominated or fought hard at Taupo, Ruffalo, Joe, Wally, and Cooper are all now facing engine restrictions for the next event.
While everyone else, from 5th place downwards, gets to race with full power. That could really shake things up.
It absolutely could. Drivers outside that top group will be looking at this as a major opportunity.
Yeah.